वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुलारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णा प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमय प्रदीपः नमो नमः. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening from wherever you are joining. We have started on the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Geeta. It's called as Sannyasa Yoga. Bhagavad Geeta is an integral part of Mahabharata. Bhara means heaviness. Mahabhara means very heavy. Very heavy, not only because of the volume, 100,000 shlokas. It's so voluminous, and not only physical volume, but also in the content wise, it's very heavy. Mahabhara, content wise, knowledge part wise. And Mahabharata is regarded as higher than Vedas. Vedas are knowledge part, Apaurishaya Veda, whereas Mahabharata was composed by the Mahapurusha, Supreme Lord himself. Vedas are, in terse language, it requires lot of contemplation, and only for few people it is Veda is revealing itself. Whereas to bring it to the common people, even to the women, Vedavyasa says, many women, they do not get an opportunity to study Veda. Even for them to understand, he brought out Mahabharata. He says one of the reasons he has brought out, even the ordinary householders also can get the message of the Shastras. Whatever is not contained in Mahabharata is not contained anywhere. What is contained in Vedas, what is contained in Upanishad, what is told in other scriptures, in other religion, that is there already there in Mahabharata. Mahabharata has whatever you want to see, it is there. It covers the dharma part, artha part, dharma, artha, kama and moksha. Takes us into the 4 dimensions of the human pursuit. The righteousness, value addition, and desire prompted life, and the liberation part. All 4 dimensions, Mahabharata addresses that one. Bhagavad Geeta is told by Lord himself. Lord himself, when it has come from the Lord himself, it is called as a moksha shastra. Bhagavad Geeta is called as a moksha shastra for setting ourselves free. Adi Shankara in his Bhaja Govindam, he says, Bhaja Govindam, one shloka, Bhagavad Geeta Kinchita Geeta Ganga Jalalavam Kanika Pitham Sukridena Yena Murari Samarcha Kriyate Yena Yamena Na Charcha Kriyate Tena Yamena Na Charcha Bhagavad Geeta Kinchita Geeta Ganga Jala Lava Kanika Pitaham and Sukradapi Yena Murari Samarcha Kriyate Tena Yamena Charcha. Even Shankaracharya says, those who have heard Bhagavad Gita a little, Bhagavad Gita, little they have heard and they have implemented in their life. Bhagavad Gita, kinchida Gita. They heard, Lord, it has come from the Lord's mouth itself. They heard a little. Kinchida Gita, Ganga Jala, Lava Kanika Pitaham. Little bit of Ganga Jala, one who has drunk, has a reverence for Ganga. River Ganga has come from the feet of the Lord himself. And Brahma washed the Lord's feet when he did the Trivikrama, took the feet up, 1 feet up. Brahma washed that feet, and that water, Lord Shiva took it on his head. Since it has come from Lord's feet, he took it on his head. Shiva took it on his head and it has come down. Those who are drunk, a little bit of Ganga. Bhagavad Gita one has read, and one who has drunk a little bit of Ganga Jala, Sukradapi Yena Murari Samarcha. Sukradapi, by great fortune, one who has contemplated on Murari. Murari, one who has killed the demon Murari Samarcha, that person need not, will not have to haggle with Yama, when the Lord of the death start dragging that soul out of the body. This person won't be haggling with Yama. No need for to haggle with Yama. Why you are dragging me? One who has heard Bhagavad Gita, Kinchita Gita, little bit of Bhagavad Gita, one who has implemented that one, heard Bhagavad Gita out of reverence, and Kinchita Gita, little bit of Ganga Jala, Murari, one who has contemplated on that one, will not have to haggle with Yama. Why are you dragging me? Please save me, please save me. Need not have to arbiter or haggle with Yamena na charcha. It is it's a comment from Shankaracharya about 11 years back in Bangalore. One person, he was in the hospital for long, and he did not have a healthy lifestyle, led a carefree life, but somehow they called me to the hospital. He was struggling in the hospital, and the doctors had given up on him. I sat next to him and chanted the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita to his hearing. He heard the Bhagavad Gita, I chanted. Next day, early morning, I used to get up in Bangalore. It was in Bangalore. I used to get up before 4 o'clock. When I woke up, opened my eyes, I saw two faces grinning and with golden cap with like two horns on those two. They are grinning at me. I asked, are you from Yama's territory? They were started grinning and they left. They disappeared. And after half an hour, we got a phone call saying that that person who was in the hospital has died. And we can interpret whatever way we can, and my interpretation, because he heard the Bhagavad Gita, my interpretation, people can interpret anyway, my interpretation, since he heard Bhagavad Gita, Yama's messengers could not go near him, they were grinning and went. That is my personal interpretation. People can interpret anyway, and it concurs with what Bhajagovindam Adi Shankara says. It concurs with my personal experience. and it is up to the listeners to interpret in their own way. And but all acharyas, they have made a special effort to make a commentary on Bhagavad Gita, because it has come from the Lord's own mouth. Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Vallabhacharya, they have made an elaborate commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, so much of importance, the great Mahatmas have given on Bhagavad Gita. Now, going back to the Mahabharata, as I mentioned earlier classes, Vedavyasa, for the ease of learning, divided the Mahabharata into 100,000 shlokas into three main sections. First section, Pandavas 70 years, starting from Adi Parva. Adi, introducing, it's a setting the scene. Character got to be introduced. Who are the main characters? What is their background? It is like any drama, a drama playing, you have to introduce a character. What was their background? Introduced in Adi Parva, the character introduction. And Sabha Parva, in the Sabha Parva, Mayasura, he built a beautiful mansion for Yudhishthira also. Sabha Parva. Vana Parva, they were shunted into exile. Pandavas were cheated by Shakuni and Duryodhana and his team in Vana Parva. And Virata Parva, last year of exile in incognito, Virata Parva. And Udyoga Parva, Lord himself has gone as an emissary of Pandavas to the court of Dhritarashtra. Last attempt, giving a peace, a chance before the calamity. Otherwise, people will be accusing of the Lord. He was responsible for such a calamity. He could have made an attempt to stop the war, to show to the world that he had made an effort. But negative people, they do not want to change. And to show that one in Udyoga Parva. And in 18 days of war, in Bhishma Parva, where Bhagavad Gita is introduced. Bhishma Parva, Drona Parva, Dronacharya falls down, Karna falls down, Karna Parva, Shalya falls down, and Sauptika Parva, Duryodhana falls down, and last 36 years of Pandavas covered in another 8 chapters. Stri Parva, Shanti Parva, Anushasana Parva, Ashwamedika Parva, Ashrama Vasika Parva, Mausala Parva, Mahaprasthanika Parva, and Swarga Arohana Parva. Mahaprasthanika, I mentioned, we are so busy. Last week I mentioned in our life, we are so busy packing for our picnic. Our day-to-day, tomorrow I have to go to office, what should I carry for my lunch? And I'm going on a long weekend, I'm doing this one, what should I carry? I'm so busy packing my suitcase for my holidays. And but Mahaprasthana, it talks about what have you carried, what are you carrying, what are you intending to carry when you are going on the final journey. What are you going to carry? Have you thought about that one? You are so busy shopping, sale, that sale, this sale. I am so busy buying things for my day-to-day use, whether required or not. I am buying. Have you thought about what are you going to carry for your final journey? Final journey, Mahaprasthana. Mahaprasthana means a journey without no return. Other holidays, going and coming, this is a one-way journey. You are going. What are you going to carry? That is talked about in Mahaprasthana Parva and Swarga Arohana Parva, and the Pandavas, they led the life virtuously, how they ascended to the heaven and what happens to them afterwards. It is contained in the 18th chapter, in the Swarga Arohana Parva. And in the Mahabharata character introduction, I talked about Karna and the Bhishma's father, Shantanu was the father, and Shantanu, when Ganga deliberately, she threw 7 babies born through her into Ganga water because of the curse. Because of the curse, 8 Vasus, they were taking the Surabhi from the yajna, from the ashram of Vasishtha, Nandini. They were dragging, the Nandini was crying because they were dragging that one. Vasishtha cursed them, since you dragged the Nandini by force and cow was crying, may you be born on the earth. And so these Vasus, they pleaded, please pardon. Then Vasishtha said, my curse cannot go waste. 8 out of 8 Vasus, 7 people you had to be born. The moment you are born, you will come back, you will die. But your life, another person has to take. Bhishma was the eldest of the Vasu, and he has to take your lifespan, so he will live for 800 years, you 7 will be born and go back. So to redeem them, Ganga deliberately, as soon as they were born, she was throwing them to redeem off. Shantanu did not know. Ganga said, the moment you question me, I will leave you. Shantanu, for 7 babies, he did not question. Why are you throwing? And for the 8th one, when Bhishma, Devavrata, he was born, and Ganga was taking him, and Shantanu could not contain, and he asked, stop! What are you doing? Since he questioned, Ganga wanted to go back. She said, since you questioned me, I am taking this baby back. And this baby will be born. I will look after him. I will educate him under Deva Rishi, Brihaspati, Deva Guru Brihaspati, and he will come back. And Ganga took him for 425 years. He studied there and he came back. And I mentioned about this one. And for another 125 years, he went to Parshurama and studied there also. 550 years Bhishmacharya studied. And after that, Shantanu wanted to marry. He saw Satyavati, and he wanted to marry Satyavati. Satyavati's father, Dasharatha, he said, the son born through my daughter must be a king. Shantanu was worried. He was liking his eldest son, Devavrata. He was confused how to accept. Then Devavrata, he said, I won't get married, and this is the promise he made. I won't ascend to the throne. Then from the heaven, the flowers fell on him. Bhishma means great promise. Bhishma, then on, he was called as Bhishma. Through Satyavati, Shantanu had two children. Satyavati was Dasharatha Raja, her father, a fisherman. He found Satyavati and another twin babies, one girl and one boy, in the fish. When he collected the fish, in the stomach it was there. He returned that one to the king, local king. King said, no, that you keep the baby girl and I will take the baby boy. It was in fact this girl also belonging to Kshatriya clan. That is why her father, Dasharatha, wanted to make this, give this girl to a princely class. He wanted Satyavati's children also become kings. That is the reason. And two children she had. One is Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. Chitrangada got killed while fighting with a Gandharva called as Chitrangada. Another Gandharva called Chitrangada. He said, you change your name. Only one person can have this name. This Chitrangada, he said he won't change his name. So he fought with Gandharva, Chitrangada and got killed. Vichitravirya, right from young age, he had asthma problem. He was not physically strong. So Bhishma was looking after him. And looking after him, he thought this boy cannot find a girl for himself. He can't go to Swayamvara. So he himself went to Kashi Raja. And there was a Swayamvara. He took 3 girls for this boy, Vichitravirya. Amba, Ambalika and Ambika, Ambalika and Amba. And when Amba said she had set her eye on another person, she set her free. And Ambalika and Ambika, 2 girls, they lived with them, but this Vichitravirya, as fate, because of his weak health, asthma problem, he also died. Next week I will touch upon how the progeny continued when both children died. Dasharatha wanted that lineage to continue, but divine had its own plan. There is no male issue, 2 widows. Widows are there. How the lineage continued, next week we'll see. And in the Bhagavad Gita, I touched upon Arjuna. In the first chapter, he wanted to run away. He thought running away is better than fighting. He thought sannyasa is superior than engage in fighting, better than fighting. Lord Shri Krishna in the 2nd chapter had to wake him up, and he told him, you have a responsibility not to expect the outcome. You have to discharge your obligation. In 3rd chapter, Arjuna asked the same question. If the knowledge is superior, why are you pushing me into action? Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana. Shri Krishna again had to talk to him, expound on karma-yoga. In the 4th chapter, Shri Krishna talks about a yajna, how to elevate karma into yajna, how to elevate your karma, ordinary action into yajna. In the 4th chapter, Shri Krishna talks about, and towards the end, in the 4th chapter, he talks about yoga-sanyasta karmanam jnana sanchinna samshayam atmavantam na karmani nibadnanti dhananjaya. Yoga-sanyasta karmanam. Yoga, sannyasta, giving up all the fruits. He heard about sannyasa. It reminded him of his first question in the 1st chapter. So he thought sannyasa. Again sannyasa. Lord is talking about sannyasa. That is what I raised My question, original question, Arjuna asked the question in the 5th chapter, opening question. In the 5th chapter, Arjuna uvacha, Sanyasam karmanam krishna, punar yogam cha shansasi, yach chhreya etayor ekam, tanme bruhi su-nishchitam. Sannyasam karmanam krishna. You are sannyasa, you are talking about sannyasa as well as the karma-yoga, and you are glorifying the karma-yoga. Again you are talking about sannyasa. Yat shreya, between them what is best? Tell me conclusively, don't confuse me. I am already confused. Tell me conclusively, tanme bruhi su-nishchitam. Nishchitam. Make up your mind and tell me only one. Don't confuse me anymore. Shri bhagavan uvacha. Sanyasa karma-yogascha. nihshreyasa-karavubhau. Tayostu karma-sannyasat. Karma-yogo vishishyate. Shri Krishna, last week I gave a definition. Sanyasa. Sanyasa means not just changing the color of the cloth. Samyak nyasa means sannyasa. Samyak means complete. Nyasa means pledge. You have to pledge. Like if I am buying a house, you have to pledge some property. If you have a property, you have to pledge so that you will get loan. 50% of the value of this house, I am getting another loan. You have to pledge something to get something. Whereas sannyasa means not half pledging. You have to pledge complete pledging. Samyak nyasa, complete surrender, is called as sannyasa. Samyak nyasa, not half-hearted nyasa. That means complete devotion. Total surrender is called as sannyasa. Sannyasa, last week I talked about not putting your mind on the outcome of the results, is called as sannyasa. You have offered yourself to the will of the Lord, you are not worried about the outcome. Whereas karma-yoga is talking about the not engaging in selfish action. Whatever action I am doing every day, day-to-day life, I ask my boss, what is my salary, can you give more? And my bonus I am concerned about. My output is proportional to my reward. My output is proportional to my reward. This karma-yoga means your output is not dependent on the reward. It's not dependent on your selfish motive. Selfless action is karma-yoga. Shri Krishna says, Sanyasa karma-yogascha nihshreyasa-karavubhau. Both, ubho means both. Ubhaya means both are good. Nihshreyasa-karavubhau. Tayostu, taya astu, taya means out of them, taya astu, karma-sannyasat, karma-yogo vishishyate. Better than giving up the action, giving up the fruit of your action, selfless action is higher. Shri Krishna says both are good, but selfless action is better. Why? Because if the result is not a driver, you are not at all concerned about the result. If there is no motivation, no target for me, if I have no target Tomorrow, for example, I have a target to get up and go to Rowville class and talk about some new topic. I have put myself some target. If I do not have any target, I get slack in my life. There is no driver in my life. You need a target. Without target, there is no motivation. Everyone requires some target. Without any target, sannyasa, if you have no target in your life, it is easy that that person becomes dull in life. Becomes very dull. When that person's become dull, that person is not an inspirational person. And that person won't be an inspiration for himself or herself, and not an inspiration for others also. If you want to be an inspiration for others and yourself, you need to have a personal target. By the end of this year, I want to be here. By the end of next year, I want to be here. By 10 years, I want to be here. Some driver is there. Shri Krishna says, though both are good, it is easy that if you do not have any target in your life, you will slack off in your life. And you need to have a target. Selfless action is karma-yoga, is better, Shri Krishna is talking about. Otherwise, without target, we have seen long weekend and Christmas break, we had about 1 month break. Many people, they slacked off. In a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, Easter break is there, and it's a weekend means, a long weekend means slacking off. Without any target, we slack off, and karma yoga never allows you to slack off in your life. Jneyah nitya-sannyasi.
nitya-sannyasi.
Yo na dveshti na kankshati. Nirdvandvo hi maha-baho. Sukham bandhat pramuchyate. Jneyah means no. Sa, that person, no, for sure, he is ever sannyasi. He is or she is established in sannyasa. Now Shri Krishna gives the trait of a person who is established in sannyasa. Yo na means no. Na in Sanskrita has become no in English. It has gone into English as no. Yo means that. That person, for no, not dveshti. That person never hates, na kankshati. Never hates when something doesn't come on his way, na kankshati, or aspires for that one. When it is not there, I wish, craving, there is no craving nor hates when that person doesn't get that one. Nirdvandvo hi maha-baho, without having a dvandva, duality. Last week I talked about 3 dualities in the physical level. Physical level, duality is hot and cold. In Melbourne today is around 29 degrees, very hot, and come a month later it will be cold. Try to endure. In the month of June we are going to Badrinath and Kedarnath, freezing cold. Try to endure without complaining. And hot and cold, endure dualities of the temperature. It's one physical level. In the mental level, mana apamana. People may be praising you, how great you are, or criticizing you at the face, and or talking behind you. And in the mental level, you're not upset. People may praise you or criticize you, not to, you are what you are not dependent on somebody else's opinion. Your being is not changed by the opinions of people. You are what you are in a mental state. Coming to the center, it is a mental state. It's a center. That is mana apamana. In the spiritual level, sukha dukkha. In the spiritual seeker, never aspires for the heaven or moksha. Your hell or the heaven never aspires that one. Sukha or dukkha, in the spiritual level also, that person doesn't aspire for that one. And that person all aspires for the remembrance of the Lord. Wherever he takes, it is okay. And in the spiritual level, not confronted by the two extremities, physical, mental and spiritual level, maha-baho, Sri Krishna addresses Arjuna, he addresses all of us, maha-baho, one with big shoulder. Big shoulders means one who can take up challenges in your life. You are a person, you can take up challenges, not to buckle down so easily. Sri Krishna inspires all of us, saying that one, not to go into the extremities. Sankhya-yogau pratak bala.
Sankhya-yogau pratak bala.
Pravadanti na panditaha.
Pravadanti na panditaha.
Ekamapyastita samyak.
Ekamapyastita samyak.
Uvayo vindate phalam.
Uvayor vindate phalam.
Sankhya-yogo, Sankhya-yoga, Sri Krishna is talking about sannyasa and karma, karma-yoga. Here Sankhya we have to understand as sannyasa. Sankhya-yogo, Sankhya-yogo. Yoga means karma-yoga. Sannyasa and karma-yoga, pratak bala, some childish people, pravadanti na pandita, pratak. Balaha, they say, childish people, they say the sannyasa and karma yoga are different. That is what the childish people are talking about. Na panditaha, not the illumined people. Illumined people, they don't see that one. They see sannyasa and karma yoga are the two legs of our journey. We need both. They say, last week I said, they are like two sides of the coin. Ekam apyastita samyak ubhayo vindate phalam. If you ekam apya astita, if you are established in one, you are getting a benefit of both. You need not have to follow both. Whatever, if you are established in one, because it is on the other side, both are complementary to each other. If you are established in one, you are established in other, you will get a benefit of both. Up to here we have done last week. Yat sankhe prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate ekam sankyam cha yogam cha yapashyati sapashyati yat sankhe prapyate sthanam. Repeat after me. Yat sankhe prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate ekam sankyam cha yogam cha yapashyati sapashyati yat sankhe, yat through sannyasa prapyate sthanam, the highest wherever you ascend through sannyasa, giving up the fruit of your action, Tad yogairapi, through the selfless action, you will achieve the same. You will achieve the same. Ekam sankhyam cha yogam cha. The goal, the path may seem to differ, but the result, ultimate result is the same. Ya pashyati, sa pashyati. One who sees this one, they may seem to be different paths, but one who realizes that both are leading to the same goal, same ultimate, that person really sees. One who sees karma-yoga is different, sannyasa is different. What Arjuna's question it was at the beginning, Shri Krishna says that person misses. One who sees this one, they are taking to the same height, that person really sees. That person is really a illumined person. Sannyasa
Sannyasa
astu
astu
maha-baho
maha-baho
dukkam
dukkam
aptu
aptu
ayogataha
ayogataha
yoga-yukto
yoga-yukto
munir brahma
munir brahma
sa na achirena nachire, you have to say both together. Nachirena digacchati
na achirena dhigacchati
sanyasastu maha-baho
sanyasastu maha-baho
dukkam aptu ayogataha
dukkam aptu ayogataha
yoga-yukto munir brahma
yoga-yukto munir brahma
na achirena digacchati.
na achirena dhigacchati.
Sannyasa, the doing the action, and without, I gave an example. If you think you are on a sannyasa, you are not at all interested in the outcome, that person tend to become lethargy, tend to lose focus in life. If that person becomes dull, it's a possibility that if I am not interested in any results, and so I become very lazy and lethargy in my life. And Shri Krishna says, Sannyasa, I am not interested in any result, but Shri Krishna says, but I am not at all interested. That person may not be interested in any action, but Shri Krishna says, if that person's mentality is that way, there is a lot of grief in that person's life without having a goal. Shri Krishna says, even you may be following a sannyasa, you need to have a goal in your life. You need to have a routine in your life. You need to have a target in your life. If you do not have any goal, any target in your life, you will be leading a depressed life, sorrowful life. Dukkam aptu ayogataha. Without having a karma-yoga in your life, you will be confronting with sorrows in your life. So, Shri Krishna is indirectly saying, though he started off with Arjuna, and slowly he is turning the plate, saying that sannyasa without karma-yoga is meaningless. You become very dull, you live as a burden to yourself and burden to the society. I have no motivation to get up, and I live on others. Not to become that way, Shri Krishna says, Sannyasastu maha-baho. You are with big shoulders, strong shoulders. You can take up the challenges. Dukkam aptu, sorrows will come to you. Aptum ayogataha, without karma yoga. yoga-yukto munir brahma na chhreyena gacchati. When karma-yoga is incorporated in your life, though you are not at all interested in the fruit of the action, when karma-yoga also incorporated, munir brahma na chhreyena gacchati. That person realizes the highest, not in a distant future. That person ascends to the highest. Shri Krishna slowly says, karma yoga, nobody can get away with that one. Whether you are a householder or a renunciate or whatever, you cannot bypass karma yoga. Slowly he is bringing the knowledge part, and sannyasa, many people, sannyasa means, Arjuna thought sannyasa means running away, going to the forest and begging on food. Please bhavati bhiksham dehi, and give the food. Thought my living is just begging. Begging, he thought that way. And sannyasa, many people they say, how about you go to Badrinath, Kedarnath, or so many sadhus are there up in the mountain. They are not at all connected to the world. They are far away sitting. They are contemplating. They have disconnected themselves from the world. Is it not? They are not following. Is it not they are shrugging off their responsibility? Is it not they are not following Shri Krishna's advice? No. A real sadhu is the one, though that person is up in the mountain, up in the cave, in Himalayas, deep into the mountain. That person will be contemplating for what? That person will be praying for the wellness of the world. A real Mahatma is the one, wherever he or she is, always contemplating, thinking, wishing well of the whole world. They are still contributing. We are contributing physically by engaging, whereas Mahatmas in Himalayas, what have come across in Himalayas, so much of radiance is there. They are also engaged in karma yoga. How? They are wishing the wellness, prosperity of the whole humanity, whole world, whole universe. They are praying for, in the heavenly region also, they are praying for them also. So they are also engaged in that one. So our confusion, Lord is slowly dispelling our confusion. What is that sannyasa? It is so easy for them. They don't understand my problem. I am a householder. I have to work and toil. We take an excuse that our life is harder than them. Then that sannyasa, real sannyasa is the one. They are also wishing well of, I am concerned as a householder, I am worried about myself and my wife and my children, whereas for a sannyasi, his family, my family is a small family of 3, 4, 5 people, whereas sannyasi's family, whole universe is his family. Vasudhaiva kutumbakam, whole world is his family. Everyone belongs to him. So his responsibility is much bigger than my responsibility. My small family I am concerned about. Whereas a great Mahatma's wish, he or she is concerned about the wellness of the whole world. Only one thinking, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Whole world is one family, that is my family. And Shri Krishna says, and that when you have that concept, no doubt slowly, not in a far distant future, that person will ascend to the highest. Yoga-yukto
yoga-yukto
vishuddhatma
vishuddhatma
vijitatma
ajitatma
vijitatma
vijitatma
jitendriyah
jitendriyah
sarva-bhuta
sarva-bhuta
sarva
sarva-bhuta
sarva-bhutatma
sarva-bhutatma
bhutatma
bhutatma
kurvannapi
kurvannapi
na lipyate.
na lipyate.
Shri Krishna, now he talks about the characteristics of a karma-yogi. He talked about the sannyasa, karma-sannyasa. He talked about that one. Now he is talking about the characteristics of the karma-yogi. Repeat after me. Yoga-yukto vishuddhatma
yoga-yukto vishuddhatma
vijitatma jitendriyah
vijitatma jitendriyah
sarva-bhutatma-bhutatma
sarva-bhutatma-bhutatma
kurvannapi na lipyate.
kurvannapi na lipyate.
The karma-yogi, characteristics of that person, yoga-yukto, one who is established in karma-yoga, one who has established in karma-yoga, vishuddhatma, purified oneself by the selfless action. When you do the selfish action, that person becomes very polluted within, stress, anxiety. When one starts seeing the whole world as one family, start doing the selfless action, that person gets purified. Vishuddhatma, vijitatma, that person wins over the senses. Tongue no longer controls that person. Senses no longer controls that person. Has conquered the senses. Jitendriyah, he has overcome the senses, no longer overrule that person. And controlling the tongue is very difficult for a sadhaka. That person can easily, tongue is not a driver, and it's not bound by any I must have this in my life. Jitendriyah sarva-bhutatma-bhutatma, that person sees the same Lord existing in me. The Lord existing in me is existing in all beings. Sarva-bhutatma-bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. I can do karma-yoga, I can do selfless karma only when I see the all-pervading Lord in everyone. When I see everyone, I can empathize with the suffering of others. I can empathize, I can feel the pain, I can feel the suffering of other people. Then that person can relate to them. If I can't empathize with others and I can't relate to others' pain, others' suffering, I can't relate to them. To relate to them, I have to see the same Lord present everywhere. Sarva-bhutatma-bhutatma, when I see that one and having control over the senses, and kurvannapi, may be engaged in so many activities. Kurvannapi, api, though engaged in so many activities, na lipyate, that person never gets tainted. Selfish person easily get tainted, whereas selfless person doing the karma yoga, though engaged in so many activities, right from morning till evening, never gets tainted. And this is shloka up to 7. We have covered up to 7, 3, 5, 6 and 7 we have done. Shloka, I opened up the question, what are you going to pack when you are going for an ultimate journey? Pick up the pearls from the shlokas, what it has come out from the mouth of the Lord, the pearls. Pick up those precious pearls, keep it close to your heart. Those are the things which you can pack up in your inner suitcase for your ultimate journey. These 7 shlokas, repeat after me. Arjuna uvacha. Sannyasam karmanam krishna. Punar yogam cha shansasi. Yach chhreya etayor ekam. Tanme bruhi su-nishchitam. Shri bhagavan uvacha. Sanyasa karma-yogash. nihshreyasa-karavubhau. Tayostu karma-sannyasat. karma-yogo vishishyate. jneyah nitya-sannyasi. yo na dveshti na kankshati. nirdvandvo hi maha-baho. sukham bandhat pramuchyate. sankhya-yogau prutak-bala. pravadanti na panditaah. ekam-apyastita samyak. uvayo vindate phalam. yat sankhye prapyate sthanam. tad yogairapi gamyate. ekam sankyam cha yogam cha. yapashyati sapashyati. sannyasasthu maha-baho. dukkam aptu ayogatah. yoga-yukto munir-brahma. na chirena-adhigacchati. yoga-yukto vishuddhatma. vijitatma jitendriyah. sarva-bhutatma-bhutatma. kurvannapi na lipyate. vasudeva sutam devam. kamsa-chanūramardhanam. devaki paramanandam. krishnam vande jagadgurum.
Krishnam vande jagadgurum.